Well, you're on the north side of the eye wall there, and a lot of people, if it makes you feel better here, a lot of folks from Lake Charles and from Cameron have evacuated to your region. So that should be a little bit of a condolence in that situation. You're at a higher elevation, you're not subject to the storm surge, but you will be seeing those wind gusts between about 40 and 60 miles an hour as that eye wall starts to head. And if we can zoom into the radar to that region. Areas from there to, say, to Ritter are at about 100 to 200 feet in elevation, so it's significantly higher than Lake Charles, which is sitting at about 15 feet in elevation. So this is going to be a rough night. We're going to have not just the heavy rain, but you could have some power interruptions if you haven't already. And we're not going to see improvements for some time because you have to remember that a lot of power crews are going to monopolize areas to the south. So another part of this kind of a system, these long duration systems, is not just the storm itself, but the aftermath. And of course, what happens in the deep south and across Louisiana after a hurricane, it usually gets extremely hot. So it's just about pacing yourself. But as far as the life-threatening weather goes, your biggest threat right now is going to be falling trees from wind gusts over saturated ground. You're getting that very heavy rain. It's loosened up the root areas of those trees in the mud, and it's going to take a gust to maybe 40, 60, 70, 80 miles an hour to actually start seeing trees not just bend, but maybe even fall over. And that's always a big threat with inland hurricanes at this point. We're still dealing with, at this point, a Category 3 hurricane. And as the eye wall moves north, you're going to be right in that region. I'm looking at my local radar here as well to confirm that. And certainly, even inland, we're getting an east wind now in your region at between 30 and 40 miles an hour. But you're still just north of the outermost inner eye wall. So conditions are going to continue deteriorating. Right now, you're at about 4:15 in the morning. Once you get to about 6, 7 o'clock, it's going to be a completely different story this morning. As the sun rises and the skies get a little bit brighter, you can start to see things outside. You're also going to see that rain falling horizontally and the trees really bending. So now's the time to complete your final preparations as you hunker down. Now, guys, I was seeing some unconfirmed reports on Twitter of some folks in hotels in that general region, and the rain is just already just torrential with the localized flooding, where between 4 and 8 inches of rain are going to fall. It looks like the eye is going to head right toward that region along I-49 here over the next couple of hours. And that's something that a lot of folks as well in these areas, especially in the wetland areas, which is what Louisiana primarily is, sees it's called the brown water maintenance of these tropical systems, brown water hurricane, if you will. You've got all of the very warm water of just the lowlands there. And even though the hurricane's inland, it maintains its strength. And that can be disarming to folks, especially with the rainfall threat and especially with those sustained winds. And so that will be something especially to watch as far as, yes, it's expected to weaken later on this morning. It's likely to become a tropical storm by the end of the day. Today it heads up into Arkansas. But it may hold on to a lot of punch, especially as it crosses the I-49 corridor.